What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall market. Just note that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total, not to mention 8.1% APY on invested cash. This offer ends at the end of March, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, now let's talk about what's happening with the markets. So as far as SPY is going, we're trying to break this trend line right here. We're doing a good job so far. There's a very, very good chance we're going to try to continue to do this at least as time goes on. As long as we hold above this from a technical standpoint, we will be looking more bullish, and the same thing can be said about the QQQ. I'll talk more about the charts in just a couple of minutes, but I first want to talk about what's happening today. Today is Monday, January 20th, 2025. The stock market is closed because of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. It's a very important day to remember the sacrifices that were made to give America and grant America the freedoms that it currently has. So please remember the sacrifices, the determination, the hard work, and everything it really took to get us to where we are. It's very important to remember Martin Luther King Jr., his legacy, and everyone else that was involved in the civil rights movement. On top of that, I want to mention that it happens to be Mr. Donald Trump's inauguration day, and that's very important for the US economy and the markets. So, as far as things are going, I just want to say that at Trump's inauguration, we saw a lot of these big tech CEOs that happened to be there. We saw Mark Zuckerberg was there. We saw some of the Ambanis that were there. Jeff Bezos was there. Tim Cook was there. So were many other very important figures. Elon Musk was there as well. He was very excited. In fact, he looked like he was the most excited about a lot of the things Trump was saying. But this is important because this is a symbol of how the US economy is shifting and how Trump is very pro business. I think that a lot of these CEOs, many of them may have different views, completely understandable, but they recognize the importance of keeping good diplomacy, keeping very, very good relationships with others out there, and they understand the importance of Trump's presidency and the benefits it can have for their companies. So I believe that Trump being pro-business is going to be very, very big, and also the deregulating, Musk said that's going to be huge for the U.S. economy. And I'm just here to say that I wish the best for everyone out there, regardless of what your beliefs are. That's going to have a big effect on the way the U.S. economy is going to continue. Trump gave a speech. He was very, very optimistic about the future of the U.S. economy. He promised that things will continue to improve under his administration. And I think that this could help instill more confidence in the markets, right? I'm not here to say he's right or wrong. That's up to you guys to decide. I respect your guys' opinions. But one thing you cannot deny is that Trump is very pro business. And many of these big business people absolutely love some of the things that he wants to do. An example is Elon Musk and also Jensen Huang have spoken more in favor of him. And as time goes on, this is going to likely be a big factor affecting a lot of these different companies. So many of these big tech companies are going to see more buyers that step in as a result of his victory and his inauguration that was very successful. I say this because when you look at Trump's victory, so he won the election back in November. As soon as he won, the market went bananas. It ran very, very hard. I'm sure you guys remember that. And then at the same time, with his victory right now, there's going to be more confidence, more excitement from markets, and this could help instill that confidence that really brings things up. On top of that, I just want to mention that we happen to have more earnings coming out. We have Charles Schwab, 3M, Netflix, United, and a bunch of other very, very important tickers announcing earnings for tomorrow. So we'll see what that leads to. So, that being said, what is my view of the markets? Well, one thing you have to know is that Trump has been more positive for the stock market. He's known to cause these big runs. I'm not trying to say that it's guaranteed to this means that the economy is going to be fixed instantly or anything like that, because you have to remember that the stock market is completely separate from the economy. The stock market is more emotion based, and it's based off earnings and other factors like that. But in this case, with the confidence that's being built upon Trump's presidency and what he's already said, I think that it favors upside for the markets. There's going to be a lot of excitement, and I think a lot of buyers will be stepping back in. Now, we're already seeing signs of them trying to come back in, because we had SPY rejecting off this trend line of resistance for the last couple of months. And now we're starting to see it break resistance. This is a confirmed breakout so far. If we continue to pump, this will continue to break out, and it's going to be looking a lot more bullish. So here's my view. It's very simple. If you're bearish on SPY, just hypothetically, you want to see SPY lose 595. If we can't hold 595, we're looking for this gap fill back down to about the 591 area. And if these EMAs break, then we have this other gap to fill back down to 584. So that's the more bearish case. The bullish case is we just continue to run from this point on. If we could, get back above 600, which is psychologically a tough resistance right over here and over here, I think we easily go up to 605 to 608 near all-time highs. I actually favor this a little bit more because I think that we're trying to get a nice breakout after Trump's inauguration, after his speech, and with more buyers who are going to be optimistic. So I favor what's going to happen to SPY as we try to push for 600. If we gap above that or hold above that, we're looking for all-time highs to be tested again. If not, if we lose 595, we will turn a little bit lower, back down to 591 to 590, which could lead to more downside. I do not favor that. I think the most likely possibility is we try to push more looking at this breakout and looking at how confident Trump was during his speech. So that could help bring in a lot more of these buyers. The shifts in policy that Trump is going to have when it comes to global politics is also going to affect things. So we'll see what that leads to. But that's having a big effect on the markets right now. There's more buyers who are stepping in. So I favor upside as the most likely possibility. So please keep that in mind. Same thing with the triple Q. I'm seeing something very similar developing. So on the QQQ, we have a very similar chart. We had this rejection off resistance. And for the first time, we're breaking out of this. When you zoom in, there is clearly a left shoulder, a head, and then a right shoulder right over here. This is therefore favoring upside. If we were to hypothetically come back down, just hypothetically, we lose the support right here, the previous resistance becoming our support around that 518 zone, there's going to be a risk of us coming back down to fill not only this gap back down to 512, but then start dipping back down to where this imbalance is around 507 if we lose support. As long as we're above support at very close to that 520 area, I think we favor the inverse head and shoulders panning out, and this is going to continue to push back up for this in an attempt to get up to about 528 or higher. There's a good chance buyers will return with Trump's victory. And I think the market will try to push higher because of his confidence and because of what he's saying about the economy improving. For the IWM Russell 2000, we have a bullish divergence right over here. We're breaking resistance. If we could break past 226 to 200 EMA, we're looking for an attempt to get back up to 228 and eventually to fill this imbalance into like the 232 area. If we lose support at 222, we're looking for a dump back down towards 220 or below. In my personal opinion, with the bullish divergence and the nice accumulation of the double bottom, this is favoring upside a little bit more, but we need to break resistance for confirmation at 226. If we could get a break above that, I think this will continue to push into the 230s. I really hope that happens, but that depends on the reaction we get after Trump's speech and other factors like that. So I'm optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic for now, so we'll see how it goes, but we have a lot more potential nonetheless. For ES, we're making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows up until close on Friday. We're continuing to pump. And this is a bullish looking structure because we're breaking resistance that happens to be right over here. And we're showing a lot more promising details. So I think that there's a very, very good chance we try to continue this push so long as we don't end up losing support at this 6,000 area. I think we favor basically pushing closer to about 6,100. So to me, I think we look a bit more bullish, right? We could be looking for a move just like this where we see a dip and a continue to push towards the 6,100 area. This nice double bottom and bullish divergence will push us higher. And I think I favor upside thanks to that. For more factors out there, I wanted to mention we also happen to have NQ. NQ is also looking bullish as we're trying to break out right over here with the inverse head and shoulders setup. There's clearly a left shoulder here. There's a head down here, then a right shoulder forming. And this tends to favor upside for about 22,000 as a potential target. I think I'm favoring 22,000 plus for NQ. So I think we look even more bullish. For Bitcoin, we're looking more bullish right now. We're making higher highs and higher lows. If we end up losing essentially 101,000, we're looking for a dip to about 97,850. As long as we're above 103,767, we're looking for a bounce back up. With Trump's victory, just know that Trump is very pro crypto right now, and his victories have had a very positive effect on crypto, at least thus far. So although this is dipping a bit, it might get a little bit close to about the 101,000 area before it tries to bounce. There's a nice double bottom accumulation. This could be forming like a cup and handle. And if we get some kind of dip, we could try to bounce right here and try to get back up to about 108,000 as a potential target. So I think there's a very, very good chance we see some buyers who try to return thanks to this. And we'll be watching to see if that ends up being the case or not, at least for how this is moving. It's also very important to watch our key levels, so please keep that in mind, guys. That's going to be very key for how this progresses, but we're still favoring upside nonetheless. For others out there, we have Nvda. Nvidia is forming a double bottom. We're forming a nice accumulation right over here. If we could break past 140, we're looking for an attempt to get back up to about 145. One thing that's good about Nvidia is the fact that the deregulation of AI is going to benefit them in a lot of different ways, and also limited regulations when it comes to other factors like that. So I have heard Jensen Huang and many other figures from Nvda who were criticizing the current administration, not the current one, the previous one, the Biden administration. So many people imply that that could be a sign that they are more optimistic for Trump's victory. So that's a very, very strong possibility, and that could have a big effect on the way things move. If you look at the 4 hour, we're making higher highs and higher lows right here. So this could also be favoring a breakout. As long as we break past 140, we're looking for an attempt for 144 to 145. And if we end up losing 136, I'm looking for a dip to fill this gap back down to 133. I'm hoping that this is forming like a cup and handle for a breakout for the 140s. I find that to be very probable. So we'll see if that ends up being the case. But overall, it does look bullish, and it looks like it wants to break out higher. For Tesla, okay, Tesla's looking quite good. I want to break out to the fact that we had this downtrend on Tesla that was being respected. So we kept on getting these rejections. There's a rejection here, another rejection here, another rejection here. And now finally, Tesla is trying to like break out. So we're trying to see a breakout that's being established. And that's a very, very good sign, at least thus far, as the buyers are returning. We're also breaking out in a channel right here. So that's a very, very good sign that this is going to try to continue. So this is favoring higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, and higher lows. If Tesla were to lose 411, we could turn back down to the lower 400s. But as long as we hold above this, we could try to continue to push back up for essentially 450. So I'm favoring 450 or so as the most likely possibility. And I think we're going to likely continue this trend for more upside. For Amazon, not Amazon, Apple. Apple has dipped a bit, but we did see Tim Cook looking very optimistic over there as well. I'm hoping we get a small bounce as long as we're above 230. We're looking for an attempt to get back up to 233.5 as the most likely possibility. So I'm favoring upside a little bit more looking at this trend. For Netflix, we're looking a little bit more optimistic as well to me as we're trying to break out right here. We need to see this break past 864. If we do break our 50 EMA, I think we easily go up to about 874. So we're still favoring upside for now. For MSTR, we look a bit more bullish. We're trying to break past 400. If that does break, this is forming an inverse head and shoulders accumulation that could be looking for an attempt for essentially 420. For Celsius, we're looking promising right here. We have a double bottom. If we could try to break past 27.61, we're looking for an attempt for 28.9. So it still looks more bullish to me. For Supermicro, we're forming a nice double bottom like structure. If we could break past 32.07, we're looking for essentially 34.7. I see potential in this at least moving forward, so it's doing a good job at least thus far. For Palantir, this is going to be very optimistic as well. I think there's a very good chance it tries to continue. It looks very bullish right now. As long as you don't lose 70, I think this could easily try to get back up to 75 plus. So I see potential in this chart. For a few more, we have Rivian. Rivian dips quite a bit. We have to try to hold at 14. As long as 14 holds, we could be bouncing for 15 plus. So I see potential in this at least moving forward. So I think there's a very, very good chance we're going to try to continue. For SoFi, we look bullish as long as we have this double bottom breakout. And as long as we don't end up losing a 15.6, I think I'm favoring 17 plus as the most likely possibilities. For AMD's forming a very, very nice uptrend. We're trying to break 121. As long as we're above that, we're looking for an attempt to get back up to 125. So I see a lot of potential in this. For ARM is also, excuse me, it's also doing a very, very good job. If we could break past 150, this inverse head and shoulders could take us back up towards 154. So I see potential in this to continue to push for 154. Coin is looking bullish. We need to hold and break 300. If we do that, we're looking for essentially 308. If we were to lose 290 or so, we're going to be looking for a dip back down to fill that gap to 280.8. So I think this is favoring 300 plus and eventually a breakout to much higher levels. For Amazon's looking more bullish with the inverse head and shoulders right here. I think this could easily push up towards 228. There's a very, very good chance this will be pumping more, so watch that very, very closely. For Meta is looking more promising with the inverse head and shoulders also being established right here. This could be trying to push for about 624 plus, so I see potential in this. Microsoft is looking more promising, nice inverse head and shoulders as well. You'll be looking for essentially 432 plus as a potential target or above. We also have Google. Google's trying to push more. Nice inverse head and shoulders. I'm going to be looking for an attempt to get back up to 200 plus, so I see potential in this. On the other hand, we have stocks like GameStop that are showing a little bit of weakness. I'm hoping we get a small bounce. As long as we can try to base around 27.5, we're looking for an attempt to get back up to 28.6. So far, it's still showing weakness, though. AMC is looking decent. There is a possible inverse head and shoulders. We need to try to establish a bottom here before 3.37 or so. If we could try to hold that support, we could try to bounce and make a U-turn off an inverse head and shoulders. We'll see, though. It's still looking so-so. DJT is going to make a big move. Not sure if it's going to be to the upside or the downside yet. There's different interpretations of Trump becoming president. Will that slow things down if Trump is going to be more busy, or is this about to pump? We'll see, but there is potential in this as it's trying to break out already. So it looks like as long as we can try to hold 39.8, we're looking for a pump for about 44 plus. Could be a big move, but that depends on some factors. The VIX is looking so. Although it's trying to bounce here technically, there are these gaps to fill below. So we'll see if we get some kind of bounce first and then starts dumping. That depends on many different factors out there. The 10-year treasury yield is trying to hold 4.57. As long as that holds, we're looking for a bounce to about 4.65. So that could be looking more promising as well. We'll see if it rejects or not. That's going to depend on different factors. The dollar is trying to break out right here. We'll see if this pushes higher or not. If we get a rejection, might push to about 109.6 and reject back down. We'll see about that. As of right now, it's on an uptrend, but it looks like it's going to push a little bit higher before it starts to turn. So we'll see how Trump's presidency affects this. With that being said, guys, Trump is officially president. This is going to have a big effect on stocks like Tesla, and this may help the market pump more as long as SPY could break 600 and maintain a level above its trend line right over here, the blue trend line. We're favoring upside as the most likely possibility. We'll see if that ends up being the case or not. So watch your levels very closely. And with that being said, guys, I just want to say I really appreciate you guys so much for listening. Please have a good rest of your day. I'll see you guys very soon tomorrow with another upload. Keep in mind that the market has key levels to watch for, so make sure you watch your levels. That's the main thing to prioritize. And we'll see if we continue this push. So far, the market does look like it's favoring that. So I thank you for listening. Have a good rest of your day, and peace out.